Hi everyone, Spider-Man No Way Home has released a few weeks ago and has surprisingly vaulted itself into the Best Picture race. No Way Home was also listed twice on the Oscar shortlist for both visual effects and sound, so can Spider-Man No Way Home become just the second Marvel film in history to be nominated for Best Picture? Let's find out. The only previous Marvel film to be nominated for Best Picture is Black Panther in 2018, then from DC, Joker was nominated in the following year. In 2020, there was no comic book movie nominations, but most comic book films were rescheduled to 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So could Spider-Man No Way Home continue this trend? There's one major difference between Spider-Man No Way Home and Black Panther and Joker. That is the political relevance and the social relevance. That is likely the reason why Black Panther and Joker were nominated and as big of Oscars contenders as they were. Spider-Man No Way Home isn't relevant to modern politics or anything going on in the world in the slightest. Spider-Man No Way Home is mostly getting recognition for its box office numbers. However, in this century, only 3 of the top box office films have been nominated for Best Picture, and none of them have come within the past decade, the 3 being Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, Avatar, and Toy Story 3. 2 of them, similar to No Way Home, were highly anticipated conclusions to a trilogy. However, in both instances, the previous films in the franchise were also big Oscars players, whereas the Tom Holland Spider-Man films most definitely were not. However, Spider-Man No Way Home has an even stronger narrative, and that is, as I mentioned, the box office. Not that it topped the box office, it's that the industry has been calling No Way Home the box office savior. It is the first film since the beginning of the pandemic to put up pre-pandemic adjacent box office numbers. It is the first film since the beginning of the pandemic to break $1 billion. Regardless of superhero bias, Hollywood loves Spider-Man. Examining the precursor, Spider-Man No Way Home did not show up at Critics' Choice or Golden Globes. It also missed SAG's Stunt Ensemble. And also Sony forgot to send screeners to BAFTA. However, PGA seems very, very possible. They've been known to go for some of the populist picks in the past, such as Borat's subsequent movie film, Knives Out, The Quiet Place, Crazy Rich Asians, Wonder Woman, Deadpool, Star Wars The Force Awakens, Skyfall, Star Trek, The Dark Knight. The list goes on. While none of those ended up getting a Best Picture nomination, out of the past 5 years, there have been 43 Best Picture nominations. PGA has only missed 3, The Father, Darkest Hour, and Phantom Thread. This resulted from the fact that PGA has 10 nominations and the Oscars had a varying number between 5 and 10, and that number never hit 10 within the last 5 years. But this year, there is a locked 10 at the Oscars. There will be 10 Best Picture nominations and 10 PGA nominations. And PGA has a 93% accuracy over the past 5 years, and that will be able to directly compare, meaning that they are likely to get 9 out of 10 of their nominees will go over to the Oscars. And since a PGA nomination seems incredibly likely for Spider-Man No Way Home, that could transfer into a Best Picture nomination. Nobody had been talking about Spider-Man No Way Home at the Oscars just a month ago, but such is the fast-paced world of the awards season, with some major contenders like Don't Look Up, Being the Ricardos, Nightmare Alley, and House of Gucci critically underperforming, and Spider-Man No Way Home with one of the strongest narratives of the year in a 10-nomination award season. Spider-Man No Way Home could shock the Oscars world and show up in Best Picture with only 1, maybe 2 other nominations being visual effects or sound. I'm not predicting it currently, but Spider-Man only seems to be getting stronger.